we have one of the premier silver assets in Australia. So really looking forward to growing that. And it's got a high gold component, a copper component, and a lead zinc component as well.
Glenn, look, big announcement this morning, more high-grade silver results in from another three of those diamond holes into Achilles, significantly expanding the strike length even further. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, this is great. Our our 10 diamond hole program has been pretty successful, we think. We've spread the diamond holes, long and wide across the deposit. We had a few in targeting the high grade zones, and then a few around the base at targeting the depth extents. And I think they're the ones that have surprised me, especially. We've seen the right rocks, the right shearing, the right faulting, and the right and some of the right mineralization. And it means those 1,000 gram silver areas down in the deeper parts of the deposit, they've really surprised. And so now we've got that sort of 300 meters of vertical extent, 600 meters long. It's tricky in terms of how this deposit sort of ranks and how it looks compared to others. This one is it's bloody big, Andrew. Um, like this hole that we announced today is 200 meters away from the next deep hole, drill hole 5, which also got over 1,000 grams. And so they're both open, and like 200 meters in the Cobar Basin, that's the same distance as the CSA lodes. So, and then the next hole over that is 150 meters away, and then 150 meters away. So we're talking about a really big scale, and I think it is difficult to sort of portray that across.
Well, just in terms of the scale, this greater than 1,000 gram meters silver zone, that's now exceeding the length of the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah, nothing like a visual to kind of it is. It's sort of height, length, about that sort of Sydney Harbour Bridge scale. And I recommend anyone who's in Sydney sort of gaze up at the Harbour Bridge and think, oh, actually that's pretty big. Yeah, yeah, no, it feels good.
And the deposit remains open along strike and also down dip.
Yes, it does, absolutely. And so the next 6 months, we're just waiting on a drill rig now to become available. We've already got our foot on the drill rig. It's just at another client, and it's going to come to us. We're going to go really hard this next 6 months with the drilling. 6,000 meters of air core. So some of that is drilling on top of the deposit, and then all the way down the shear zone, and then we'll just annihilate, really pepper the deeper parts of the deposit, because I really think we can make quite a big difference in closing up those 200-meter gaps. There's going to be high grade shoots in there, and the geology is great. So yeah, it's exciting.
And you mentioned this helicopter-borne VTEM survey. That's also due to get underway next week, is it?
Next week, yeah, absolutely. So they arrived at Lake Cargelligo today. They're piecing together the big pretzel thing that flies underneath the helicopter, and they're doing a 560 kilometer back and forth survey down the whole Achilles shear zone. You'll see CSA in that. You'll see Mallee Bull was discovered by this technique, Peel's main copper target, copper asset in the north. I mean, this finds big copper deposits, and now we know that we've got Achilles 600, 700 meters long. We will be able to see that and how that looks, and then see that down the shear zone. And the reason is we are really into creating big systematic data sets where we can see the mineralization and then stretch it north and south. So we can see those repeats. We did that with magnetics, drone magnetics. We've done it with the IP, and we're about to do that with this helicopter survey, and then we go in with the air core drilling. Big systematic data sets is how you create multiple discoveries.
Look, we've talked about the share price previously, but clearly, given the busy year, the opportunity, you'd see a bit of value in shares worth 13, 14 cents currently.
Especially when we've got a lot of cash. Our quarterly's coming out in a day or two. There's a lot of cash in that quarterly, and you know, we don't need to raise. We've just got a big pathway ahead of us. We are looking to the medium term. We're building a big value asset. Um, the share price will do what it does. It's unfortunate it's so low, but it's a great buy-in price. And look, we have one of the premier silver assets in Australia. So really looking forward to growing that. And it's got a high gold component, a copper component, and a lead zinc component as well. So, we're building a big project over the medium term, and we've got the cash to do it.
And Glenn, just finally, we didn't speak last week, but great to have Joe Pan as part of the leadership team at
Oh
Asia.
yeah, yeah, we love Joe. Crikey, he's got the best belly laugh in the industry. He is a great man. We've spent a lot of time together in the last 2 years. He spent a lot of time at Lake Cargelligo with us, multiple weeks at a time. He knows the project really well. He knows he knows the corporate side really well. He's our Australian Asian connection. He is a good guy. So I've had a lot of mentoring from him over the last 2 years, and I really look forward to that continuing.